Right, let's start with news reaching us in the last half an hour, and investors linked to the Qatari royal family are likely to make a bid for Manchester United before the end of this week. Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, has been right across this story for us and joins me now. Kaveh, just first of all, tell us the situation and a bit about the background around this story.
Well, look, the Qataris feel that they hosted a very, very successful World Cup in November and December, and they want to build on that by investing in more sports. Of course, the Qatar sports investments already own Paris Saint-Germain, but they don't want to stop there. They're looking for other investments. And one thing that they've been approached about is the possibility of buying Manchester United. Now, we told you last week that a group of Qatari investors linked to the Qatari royal family were considering making an offer. This afternoon, we are being told that they are likely to make an offer. It is not definite. I asked the question, are they definitely going to make this bid? I was told, look, it's too early to say definite. Stick with likely. Likely is the word you should be using. Expected to make a bid, set to make a bid. That is what we understand at the moment. And of course, the deadline, if you're interested in buying Manchester United, to submit your initial bid, the soft deadline, is this Friday.
Yeah, come back to that in just a moment. But you said about them already owning PSG. How can they own both?
I mean, look, if you look at UEFA's rules, it says that one owner cannot own two clubs in the same European competition. So you couldn't have the same owner of PSG and Manchester United and those two clubs playing each other in the Champions League. But there are ways around this because potentially Manchester United does not have to be owned by the same owner as PSG. PSG are owned by Qatar Sports Investments. Manchester United could have another owner who comes from Qatar. And having said that, of course, in the past we've had the situation where Leipzig and Salzburg, who are both owned by Red Bull, have played in the same European competitions because they've demonstrated that they are run by different people. So the people who control one club are not in control of the other club. And we should also remember that another bidder for Manchester United, the only bidder who's come out publicly and declared that, yes, I am going to try and buy Manchester United, is Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who's said to be one of the UK's richest men. He already owns Nice in France as well, so potentially he would have the same issue if he owned Nice and Manchester United and they both came to be in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League or the Champions League. You know, you're not supposed to have the same owner, but you can get round it by convincing UEFA that the clubs that you own are owned by controlled by different people.
Interesting, intriguing. You mentioned Sir Jim Ratcliffe there. Who else is in the running?
Well, look, at the moment, I think the situation is that there are probably around 20 interested parties in buying Manchester United. It's not an exact science. I think it is around 20. Now, out of those, we're being told that at least 4 are serious bidders. 4 are the kind of people who can pay the asking price. The asking price is, I think, at least £5 billion. I'm not sure any of those 4 will want to pay as much as £5 billion. But those who are interested, by Friday, they need to put in their bids. And their bids, just one paragraph, saying what your bid is, how much of Manchester United you want, and also proof of funds. Now, I don't think for the serious people like Qataris or Sir Jim Ratcliffe or US investors or anybody from Saudi Arabia who's going to bid, the proof of funds is not going to be that much of an issue. But then it's up to the Rain Group, the bank who are handling the sale, to discuss the bids with the Glazer family and come up with 2 or 3 preferred bidders. And then those preferred bidders will be given even more information about Manchester United, all the accounts, all the data. I imagine they will get to meet the Glazer family as well. And then the Glazer family will have to decide which one of the bids to accept, or they may decide, you know what, we don't want to accept any of the bids, we're going to keep Manchester United, or they may come out and say, we're not going to sell all the club, we're just going to sell a small stake. Because we've got to remember, they have not come out and said, we want to sell Manchester United. They've just said, we're looking for some investment.
So obviously, when you look at Manchester United fans, they've been frustrated with the ownership for so long. They've wanted the Glazers out of the club for some time. If the Glazers did decide to sell, then how realistically, how quickly could this process be, or will it be really, really long and drawn out?
Well, it depends who the preferred bidders are. If it is somebody linked to the Qatar royal family, you know, proof of funds is not going to be an issue. I imagine they will be able to move very, very quickly. So you would think that it's possible that it could be done by the end of the season. There's been talk that as far as Manchester United are concerned, they would like this done by the end of April. So there's the possibility that it could be done fairly quickly. But this is different from the Chelsea situation, because the Chelsea situation, there was a real need to get that deal done very, very quickly. Because Roman Abramovich was sanctioned, the club shop was closed, they couldn't sell tickets for their games, the clock was really ticking, and there was the real possibility that Chelsea could go out of business. That's why that deal had to be done very, very quickly. This deal is totally different. There isn't that time element, but I think as far as United fans are concerned, they want this sorted out quickly, but United fans are not stupid. Just because somebody comes along promising to spend lots of money and throwing big numbers and saying, I'm going to buy the club for, you know, £4 or £5 billion, they're not going to be fooled, because they're going to be asking the question, who are these people who want to buy our club? Why do they want to buy the club? Do they have the money to buy the club, or are they going to load the debt onto the club, as has happened before? So I think we've got to treat everyone who's interested in buying Manchester United with some caution, and we've got to check out why they want to buy the club. And any bid from Qatar or Saudi Arabia is going to be very, very controversial.
Yeah, an interesting week ahead, a big week ahead. Thank you for now.